Hey y'all, Matt here with Bobcat Bonsai, and today we're going to be repotting our coniferous little friend in a new pot that I received from my friend Tori over at Blue Nose Trading. And as you saw from that little zoom out there, she has a little podcast called the Bonsai Podcast, and you should definitely check it all out. She makes some great content, and it's always a pleasure to see what she's up to with all her different creations. She does different glaze testings and everything else. But let's get to it. Alright, so here's our little tree that we're going to be working on. And here's our beautiful little pot. And I know what you're thinking. Don't put a coniferous tree in a glazed pot, but I'm going to do it anyway because I think it looks really cute together. Really pretty. But as I was telling you, you gotta check it out. The Bonsai Podcast, hosted by Tori Salois, a Blue Nose Trading production. Check it out. If you're watching this on your TV right now, go ahead, pull out your phone and scan the QR code right here, or just type in this link and you can check it all out. But just wanted to share that with you because I've been following Tori now for a little bit. I think it's been almost 2 years, and I love her different pots and everything. I have quite a few of her pots actually, and I continue to collect them all. Let me try to straighten you out a little bit here. But I thought it was pretty clever that she does a podcast instead of a podcast. So just something I want to share that I think is cool. First off, let's check this out. We're going to get this little guy out of the pot. All right, got some super thick roots down low, and not seeing too much up top. We are going to be shrinking this down quite a bit in the pot that we're going into. So as you can see, when I bought this tree, it was Yamadori, and it's still in a lot of its natural soil. So we've got to get work through all of this fun stuff, and then we're probably going to do a nice little root trim up here before we put it in, because clearly all these roots are not going in that little pot. So we're going to continue to work our way through here and see what all we can manage to get rid of. It seems like, as far as the base goes at least, it's not in too bad of a situation here. We've got that one wire sticking down. And I'm not trying to remove all the soil, even though I'm sure you're looking at it and you're like, dude, you literally took off all the soil. Yes, I know. It looks pretty bad. But I'm not trying to remove it all. So some of these roots that are coming off here, these things, some of them are dead, some of them are alive, and that's just kind of where we're at with these. So I'm gonna get you paused up real quick and clean off my little tray here, because I don't want to put my nice pot on there on top of all that dirt. So let me clean up my little tray here and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so we've got the tree, we've got the pot. We're going to make them work together, right? Yes. So, something important to discuss here. When I'm doing root work, I have a set of scissors I use for root work, right? Because you're going to cause more damage to your scissors that you do root work with than your ones that you do branch work, and that is because you're going to be cutting into roots that are sitting in like a gritty soil. So no matter how hard you try to get everything perfectly cleaned up, it doesn't always work like that. So you'll end up cutting into gritty soil and you'll do more damage to your shears. So root scissors. Then I have my nice trimming scissors here. Ooh, I like to use my trimming scissors. I know that has nothing to do with well, I guess it does have something to do with what we're doing here, but you probably didn't want my input on that anyway, but I gave it to you, so that's where we are. I got a little bit of soil here, so I'm going to start it and put in some coarser soil down low. So we've got our coarser soil here. There we go. We have that down really low, so that way we get some really good drainage down low. And then after that, I'm going to come in and give it some of a more of a fine soil. Okay. So now we've got that in there. And then I'm going to keep a little bit extra over here. So let's look at these roots here, okay? First, I'm working my hands through, and some of it that comes off really was barely hanging on to life anyway, so we'll just kind of get those ones off. Then we're going to look at these long ones that have no little roots on there, and there's no point in keeping it if there's no little feeders coming off of it. So I'm going to cut it back to where the little feeders are at and just get rid of those roots. The reason I feel like there's no point is because if it's really long and doesn't have a feeder, then what is it actually doing for me? That's how I justify what I'm going to cut off and what I'm going to keep. Like even these little guys right here, they might be up higher, but they weren't doing much for me. And I've got this one which is growing down, so that one I've got to get rid of. Then these fine little feeders in here, those are the important ones. Like those are what I'm looking to keep. As you can see, this root is trying to push down, so we are going to need to get that, kind of just push it up as much as we can here, just to hold a nice little flatness. If that makes any sense, flatness. So all I'm going to do is continue around here, trimming up these roots a little bit at a time, and play some fancy music for you so that you can enjoy the music and not me talking. Alright, so now we just got to get our little tree pressed down in here. Make sure we get our roots all the way down and in. Sorry, it's just a lovely spring day, so you're going to hear lots of motorcycles and dogs and people just out enjoying the weather. That's what's going on out here today. So we've got this little guy here. I'm going to have to pull it back up real quick. And I am going to have to take and just kind of coil this down here just a little bit, because I was not able to aim well enough to get it all the way down into the bottom of the pot. So I will be tucking some of these roots around the edge. And we've got nice looking movement all through this tree right now. So now I'm just going to come in and give it a little bit here. And we're definitely going to need to get some more of these fines out here to get it in here. So let me get some more of them. All right. A little bit over here, so we don't need them big chunks in there. We're just trying to get the fines. Okay, so now I'm going to get a scoop of some rainwater here and just fill it up a little bit and give it some fresh water. Then I think we're going to come in and do a little bit of trimming. So let me get the water into the soil, and then we'll come back and get ready to do some trimming. So I feel like sometimes I show you where I'll pour water in order to water the trees, and that works out good sometimes, but then there's times when the soil is just not cooperating. So it's really good to just take your tree and let it submerge into the water. So I'm slowly submerging it in here, and you'll see as I do it. Oh, let me get you a better view here. The soil slowly saturates, okay? So what we're looking to see here is, are there any air bubbles coming up and through? If you see air bubbles, then you need to let it sit for a little bit until all the air bubbles are gone. And you'll see it's draining out nicely now. So my recommendation normally is, if you're first using the soil and it's been super dry, let it sit for about 3 to 4 minutes and then pull it out and let it all drain off. I'm not going to make you watch that, so I'm just going to let it sit, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so now we got the soil's all nice and saturated. Okay. And my thought originally was this is going to be the front right here, right? So we got that, and then we've got this nice little branch that we kind of want to move down that direction there. Okay. And it's going to be important this time of year to keep an eye on this wire, because as everything's beginning to swell and grow and get big and beautiful like we want, we need to make sure that our wire is not biting in. And this wire looks like it's still nice and loose down here, up through here. I still really like this bend that we were able to accomplish right here. That looks nice in my opinion. I want to take this back branch here and actually take it down some. Maybe even feed it over into this direction a little bit, so it looks like it's more back there. Okay, so there's not too much trimming I'm going to do right now, but the problem is I've got 1, 2, 3 that are stacked so close together. I'm going to get some really bad inverse taper running through here. So what my mind is telling me is get rid of the one in the middle. Okay, so let's check out buds though. We got 1, 2 nice buds here. This one's got 1, 2 really solid buds, and this one has 1 really nice bud on this one as well up top. So when you're picking a branch, it's important to look at the bud sizes, because it tells you how strong that branch is. Okay, so let me bring you in extra close here and we'll discuss bud sizes. So this is the middle branch right here. As you can see against my finger, you got 2 little buds right there. Okay, that's pretty good. They're a decent size. Then we have the lower branch down here. Now look at these 2 buds. So you have one decent size and then 1 little tiny one, which means that branch isn't quite as strong as the middle one. Then we come over to the far side here, and I was wrong, there is 2 buds here. I thought it was just 1. You have 1 right here in the middle, which is strong, and then 1 super tiny one. Sorry, I know my finger's probably gross to look at, but this is my best way to show you. 1 super tiny one right there, which means this one's really not strong at all. So I think the thing to look at is we're going to get rid of this branch right here and let the middle and the lower one continue to grow. So let me get you back out here and all set back up again, and we're going to cut one branch off right here. Okay, you ready? Boop, branch is gone. Okay, so now that we've got that branch gone, we have this one right here, looks good, and this one up here. I think for the time being, that's about all the work I'm going to be doing with this little tree. So, I hope you enjoyed it. Let's zoom you out a little bit. There we are. Let me pop you here. There we go. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to slide it back here so that you can take a little peek-see. This is going to be like the front angle looking in on it right now. So as it develops, we may end up having to get rid of this branch because it is pretty thick. And this one will probably be continued on as the new leader here. This branch will be kept here, growing out. Hopefully we get some new buds that pop and it'll all be good there. And we can begin our triangular formation. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy my content, oh geez, I messed it all up. Here we go. Let's do this again. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed my content, subscribe to my channel. And if you really enjoy my content, hit the bell notification so you can get notified every time I release a new video. Thank you.